I looked further into it. I went back to Tom and handled something that, you know, it wasn't combat related. It was like, I came back from Vietnam, and I never wanted to bring any of that back to my family.
Right.
My firstborn was born with a kind of a strange disease called neurofibromatosis.
Mm.
And I blamed myself, you know. I thought it was Agent Orange.
Right, sure.
I saw so many of my buddies that came back, their firstborns had physical problems.
Right.
And I thought, well, this is just another one. And I brought it back and I gave it to him. And all his life, he really suffered emotionally and the trauma of trying to keep up with his peers and everything else. And he died at an early age. And so I brought that up, and I had a tremendous guilt about it. It brought me to tears every time I thought about it. And he allowed me to put the umbrella of all of these actions involving my son that caused this trauma and anxiety and everything else. He approached it in a different way rather than just one single incident. And he put it away from me. He really put it away from me.
Great.
Brought tears to my eyes. So I'll tell you, right now, I think it's the first time I found peace of mind in my soul that I've always looked for, you know. I've always said, why can't I be at peace like everybody else?
Yeah, yeah.
And I felt some good relief. I've never been as close to my wife as I am now. We've been married 44 years.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, oh my God. And I'm 70 years old. For most of my life, I've been traumatized.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, geez, look at this. It affects me physically. I'm sleeping better and healthier. My pulse rate is down. I'm really excited about it. I've even, in the night, been awakened by something else that's really bothering me. And I've tried to apply that little technique that Tom gave me.
Right.
You know, on my own, and it's working.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly.
So it goes on. And I'm excited about this.
I am too. And I can, you know, we've known each other for a few years now, quite a few years. And I remember the first time I did a debriefing and how it affected both of us.
Yeah.
Because I'm really open to telling these guys what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
And you know what it's going to be like for them. And as we just said, it breaks our hearts because we love these guys.
Yeah.
So if we can just give them something, just a little something, to help them through this and get them before, we were in Nam at the same time in 1968, and it's been 40 years for both of us, 40 years. That's a lifetime.
Really.
And I don't want to see that happen to them. And I know you don't either, and I can see it in your face. And I'm sure you can kind of sense it in me that we're different.
Oh, yeah.
That we're feeling a little bit of serenity.
Yeah.
A little bit of, just like you'd see other people and see the joy in their faces. How come I can't be like that? Well, you know why you couldn't be like that.
Yeah.
We were different.
Yeah. Tom even brought something up. I guess I was telling him how after a very fierce battle, a firefight, big firefight, a lot of our guys died. We medevaced twice as many wounded and a lot of people in body bags. I said after the firefight, there was this exhaustion, an emotional exhaustion with my Marines. Like my young Marines, their spirit was gone. And it was kind of like when we had to get up and go, we're ready to fight again, and they're not emotionally ready to fight again.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
There's anger. There was this tremendous hate that engulfed them. It's like I couldn't keep a prisoner of war alive. I mean, they would, given the chance, they would have tortured.
Yeah.
I mean, done ridiculous things that most Americans would be appalled by, you know?
Right.
And that was the state of mind they got in. And Tom came up with this thing, and he said, what if after a firefight, after a trauma like that, you applied these principles?
Right.
And got that trauma and anxiety and hate and anger and everything else away from them.
Right.
So that it was simply a clean-cut incident. And I said, boy, that might really be something.
Applied into the battlefield, yeah.
And you could save lives that way.
Right.
You could really save lives that way because you clear it all up, you know.
And just think about creating that, you know, being in the zone, walking into the firefight.
Yeah.
Clearing your mind of everything that is happening or did happen, so you can walk into the battle fresh with that attitude of positive feelings of knowing that you're going to do the best job you can.
True.
Without being real angry, without being really afraid,
Yeah.
just somewhere in between that, I guess.
Correct state of mind.
Right, exactly.
The correct state of mind, yeah. And, you know, it doesn't end there. As long as there's going to be war, there's going to be really ugly things happening. And the aftermath is going to be terrible. Nobody talks about the aftermath.
No.
The people who never saw combat don't understand the aftermath.
True.
They understand now it's more public. You know, it's aired through Congress and the VA and everybody else that there's this problem. But most people just don't understand that problem. You know? And they don't the professionals and psychiatry don't understand how to deal with it. They don't understand why these guys don't come forward. Like
we
they're
know
supposed
why.
to.
We know why.
We know why. They're hard to reach, and they want results, and medicating them is not the answer. You know?
It's almost like once they come forward, it may be too late for them. You know, the reason they're coming forward is because they're in trouble.
Yeah.
You know, they're in trouble with the law. They're in trouble with drugs or alcohol, or maybe now they have tried suicide. And that's when they come forward.
Yeah.
And if we could just reach them right after the battle, right after, you know, they enter civilian life.
It not only affects their lives and lives of their loved ones, but look at the whole economy. You're talking about hundreds of thousands of these guys. You know, they can't hold down a job.
Right.
They go to VA. If they do go to VA, they're going to get 100% disability. They're going to be like a guy in a wheelchair that can't walk or mentally retarded. You know,
Yeah.
they can't do anything.
Right.
You know, and the effects of it on our world are tremendous. But the worst effects are in the minds of these guys that gave of themselves bravely to fight for something they believed in, to fight for their country.
Yeah, that's great credit.
And it was honor. It's totally honor that they did it. In combat, it becomes survival not only for themselves, but they put their lives on the line for their buddies. They'll die for their buddies.
Sure.
They'll go out and rescue the wounded and even bring back the dead and put their lives on the line. And it's tremendous what they do. And they don't deserve this. They don't deserve it.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. They deserve a lot better.
So I hope that this session system that we've gone through can be carried forward and reach the right people.